Janelle Browning, Director of Marketing. Well, we've been here since Tuesday, and we're mostly finishing up the house. I mean, we've installed fascia on the where the soffits meet the roof. We've painted. People have installed a porch. Mostly finishing work. We have a volunteer committee called the Grace Notes Committee, and they were looking to do a project locally, and then the hurricane hit, and given the connection to music in New Orleans, we decided, or the committee decided, they'd like to make a bigger effort external to Boston. So they went door to door to all the vice president's offices looking for help and funds and ways to get here, and they were successful.
Is this almost all administrators, or some of these people students?
No students, but we're about half faculty and half staff. So we've got a faculty member from the harmony department, and one lady teaches oboe. She's the one oboe teacher at Berklee, and she actually plays with the Boston Pops and was part of the Requiem for Katrina with Terrence Blanchard, which is a great connection for her. But the rest of us are staff.
Whose house are you actually building?
His name is Paul Scally, and apparently he's a drummer from Boston, which is a really cool connection for us. We haven't met him yet. We're hoping to. But it's his place. Final inspection's on Tuesday. So we just learned on the news the other night, actually, that he's from Boston and that he's a drummer.
I am Omar Thomas. I am an assistant professor in the harmony department. Well, this whole thing started for me after a really kind of introspective and meditative morning of experiencing the Spike Lee documentary When the Levees Broke. I was really getting immersed in the Terrence Blanchard album, A Tale of God's Will. All of this was happening kind of in one really emotional morning, and then the very next day I got an email about this trip, and it just seemed like a no-brainer. So
how would you say this has benefited the New Orleans music community?
I really think there's something to be said about musicians reaching out to help musicians, because we know what it's like to be in the business, to lead that kind of lifestyle, and the kind of help you need to get on your feet anyway, let alone having your home taken away from you, your possessions taken away from you, your family split up, So it's a little bit more personal and closer to us, I think, for that reason. I mean, I know I personally owe my life and my livelihood to this city, and I know absolutely Berklee feels the same way, which is why they're so generous to send us down here and take care of us while we are here.
I'm Juliana Horton. I'm the Director of Academic Services and Academic Affairs. Well, this is the third year we've been coming down here as a sponsored group. The first year they came and went, did a presentation that thoroughly impressed me. And after seeing that presentation, I thought that was very, very moving, and it inspired me to apply for the group the following year, which I did, and was fortunate enough to be selected. So I came down last year on the sponsorship and was so affected by that, so profoundly affected by that, that I decided to come back again and sponsor myself. Well, it was, I'll admit that I feel it wasn't quite as hot last year as it was this year, but I got a lot out of it, both physically and mentally. It changed my perspective about how I view my own situation, my own life, my own job, my own good fortune. I also grew a lot as a person, just witnessing the spirit of these people who have managed to keep their spirits intact despite all their losses. And some of them really, although they're doing quite well getting back on their feet, they still live amongst a lot of loss. And so there's a certain amount of mental and emotional impact that I think you need to rise above. And they're never without a smile and a wave, and they're asking us how we're doing, when really we're down here to really be a part of how they're doing. Oh, I don't go through any day the same way anymore, really, because I just my priorities have changed so much. You can't help but be affected by this. When you look and see how difficult it was to endure, something like this, and then you think about your own blessings and how your life is really quite smooth and uneventful compared to the challenges that these people face. Not a day goes by that I don't think about this experience.